Welcome to the Spine Chilling Stories, where you hear true horror stories around the world that are both chilling and creepy. So let's dive in. The Mimic in the Dark. Maya sat curled upon the couch, the glow of the television flickering against the dimly lit walls of her quiet home. The house was eerily silent, except for the occasional crack of the wooden floors, shifting as the temperature dropped outside. Her mother had left for the work hours ago. Maya was used to being alone at night. She wasn't scared, not usually. Then she heard it. A voice. Maya, can you come here? It came from the living room, just down the hall. Maya's heart stopped mid-beat. It was her mother's voice, exactly how she sounded, soft and familiar. But something was not right. Something was wrong. It wasn't just the fact that the mother had left at 6 at that evening. It was the way the voice echoed slightly, like it was too perfect, like someone was repeating a recording of her mother instead of her speaking naturally. She turned off the TV and listened, her pulse hammering. Silence. Maybe she imagined it. Maybe it was housing, settling. Then the voice come again. Maya, come here. It was identical to the first one. No variations, no impotence, just the same perfectly sounded voice. She stood up slowly, trying to keep her breathing shaky. She wasn't about to go see who or what was calling her. Instead, she backed away, inching toward her bedroom door, every instant scream at her to hide. The hallway was dark, too dark. The living room was pitch black. Then she saw it. A shadow, a terrible shadow in the doorway. A tall, thin figure stood just beyond the edge of the dim lightway. Completely still, she couldn't see its face. Couldn't tell if it was looking at her, but she could feel its stares, as if it's trying to stare at her. Then the voice came again. Maya, come here. Her stomach turned. The voice came from the figure. She ran, slamming the door. Bedroom of. She locked it, threw herself against her bedroom door, listening, waiting. The house fell silent. Then the footstep started, slow, deliberate footsteps in the hallway. Each step creaked against the floor, slow, heavy, pausing right outside the door. She bit her lip down, forcing herself to breathe too loud. A long silence, then tap, tap, the sound of the knocking, the fingernails dragging lightly against her door. Then again a whisper, Maya, let me in. Then she held her breath tightly and she started to listen just outside her room. She squeezed her eyes shut, clutching her phone. She could call 911, but what would she say? That something is pretending to be her mother was outside her room? Then the doorknob rattled. Her breathing stopped completely. The door handle twisted, jerking violently like something was trying to get in. Something was trying to get into her room. She couldn't move, couldn't even scream. Then silence. She met with the Maya sat frozen, heart thundering against her ribs. The air was heavy, thick with an unnatural stillness. For long, agonizing moments, she waited. Then footsteps retreated. One slow, deliberate step after another. They moved back down the hallway, disappearing into the darkness. She didn't move for hours, not until the sun set. When she finally worked up the courage to open her door, the hallway was empty. The house was silent again, but deep scratches lined outside her bedroom door. And in the living room, where the figure had been standing, the floor was covered in long clawed footprints. But they didn't lead anywhere. No, as if whatever it was vanished, never to be seen again. The knocking at the window. It was almost midnight when Lucy finally shut off the TV and stretched. The house was completely silent, too silent. Her parents had gone out for the evening, leaving her alone in their two-story building home. It wasn't her first time being alone at night, but something about this evening felt off. The wind howled softly outside, rattling the trees, and the occasional sound of a passing car filled the otherwise silent neighborhood. Then she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Soft rhythm coming from the window behind her. Her stomach twisted. That wasn't possible. She lived on the second floor. Slowly, her breath shallowed. She turned her head towards the window and froze. A face was pressed against the glass, grinning, watching, smiling. The man's skin was pale and stretched too tightly, as though his skull was pushing against it. His eyes were completely black, void of any human warmth. But the worst part was his mouth, too wide, filled with razor-sharp teeth, stretching into unnatural shark-like grin. Then again, the knocking. Lucy couldn't move. She couldn't breathe. The man didn't even blink. His grin grew wider. She wanted to scream, wanted to run. But how was he there? There was nothing outside that window. No balcony, no ledge, just empty air and a two-story drop. Her phone was on the table. If she had moved fast, she could grab it. Call someone. Call anyone. Then the grating man tilted his head, as if he could hear her thoughts. Slowly, deliberately, he raised one bony hand, pointed at her. Then he pointed to the door. Lucy's breath hitched. Again, the knocking. The sound came from the bedroom door. Her blood ran cold. He was still outside the window. But something else was at the door. She backed away, heart pounding so hard as it felt like burst through her chest. Knocking at the door grew louder and louder and louder. It started to create bags. The doorknob twisted violently. No, she stumbled back. The man outside the window grinned and fluttered. Lucy grabbed her phone, fumbling with the shaking fingers. She dialed 911, but before she could press the call, the window shattered. The glass sprayed into the room. A pale hand with too many fingers shoot through, reaching for her. She screamed. Her scream was bloody murder, like her life depended on. Without thinking, she threw herself out of the room, sprinting down the hallway as the thing behind her crawled through the broken window, laughing evilly. Lucy flew downstairs, her bare feet skidding against the wooden floor. She reached the front door, yanking at the lock. Then she heard it breathing right behind her. Slowly, trembling, she turned. The grinning man was standing at the bottom of the staircase. He had gotten inside, but the window was upstairs. Lucy's world span. He tilted his head, watching her with those black, soulless eyes. Then he whispered, in the voice that sounded exactly like hers, "Let me in." The lights flickered. Then complete darkness. No one knows what's happened to Lucy after that. Some say it was a skinwalker that visited her. Some say it was imagination. What was that happened at night? Nobody knows. But something is clear, that be careful whenever you are at home, because the skinwalker might come to visit. For more stories like this, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching the spine-chilling stories.